Hello everyone, this is Jer, playing Oxygen Not Included. This is my first live stream attempt, so if anyone's listening to this, just give me some feedback on the volume, the video quality, and all that type of thing as I get used to this type of setup. So what do I have here? I've gotten brand new base. We're playing the DLC, Spaced Out. We've got Scientist, Miner, and Rancher. So Scientist... the scientist has never been invited to a party, which is a shame. His dance moves are incredible. Okay, we'll get a dance place for you in this base at some point. Then there's Miner. There's nothing miners are more proud of than their thick, defined eyebrows. And Rancher. What is there to say about you? This Rancher likes to punch people to show her affection. Everyone's too afraid of her to tell her it hurts. I guess that's the reason that she's smiling and the other two are not. Alright, let's look at the asteroid itself. So we're playing on the default asteroid in the DLC. And, oh no, let's just look at some of the geysers that we'll get into. Kind of nice. I have a cool slush and a cool salt geyser, which is really good. I'm pretty certain I was going to get those. Natural gas, which is nice. Probably just those three that I'll really care about. Let's look at some of the other things. I've done a schedule already. So I told Rancher you're in a different schedule because you are an early bird. You want to take advantage of their ability. They're getting a +2 during those 5 periods. And I changed the priorities slightly. I told everyone that researcher... they're the best to do researching. Everyone else stay away from that. Miner, you prioritize on digging. Rancher, you have a disability or you don't dig as well, so stay away from digging. With that out of the way, let's look at the overall base from what the dupes can see. Temperature-wise, we're looking comfortable. So I can build in any of these areas, not really have to worry too much about heat. Next thing I'm going to look at is potential nature reserves. So I want 4 plants side by side or in a similar area that I can build as a future nature reserve. This potentially could be one right here. Let's actually have a look. If I make floors, how is it going to tie into that potential nature reserve? Actually, quite nicely, I could have 3 floors of each 4 tiles. So I may very well do that. I'm going to have 1 floor for the dupes to sleep on, 1 for them to use the washroom, and 1 for them to eat. I just need to decide whether I'm going to have then a column go up like this or up like this. Well, based on the fact that this one is probably going to go right through the nature reserve plants, let's go over here. So I've been looked down here. That should be fine. We're going to have to deal with some of this water that's around. Okay, so that means then this is going to be my living area. I'll make this my industrial area. And then down here is where I'm going to grow food. So the last little series test I did, I had egg incubation on the right side. I think I slightly prefer that to be on the left. So I'm going to do that here with a kitchen down here. And I'm going to have some, attend to some hatches over here. With all that in mind, I think we are ready to go, dupes. So let's get digging. Can get rid of this food storage for me. Well, the living area is going to be up here. So let's dig up. Actually, wouldn't be a bad idea if we are able to get down too, because there's lots of oxygen. So the dupes are putting a ladder together that's going to allow the dupes to go up and down. And this is where the dupes will sleep. So we'll create a barracks right around here. I'm going to need some metal. There's some metal to make some doorways to get in there. I see this shine bug. I want to make sure this guy does not get in the barracks. We'll see how that goes. Alright, with some metal I can now create a door. Oh, thought I could. Oh, did it become buried? Auto. Let's not. Whoops. Cancel uproot. Cancel uproot. Only want you to dig the sand there. So we'll have to clear these plants out too. But this area is perfect. It's already cleared out, apart from the fact that I just have to dig up some plants. So this should be pretty easy for me. Let's go up to double speed. Probably play on double speed most of the time. Unless people give me feedback on a different thought on that. So we'll put a door right here. Hopefully that'll be installed soon and we can stop this shine bug from getting in the sleeping area. Maybe I'll make that a higher priority, just to ensure that happens. And we'll put the cots far enough away so that the shine bugs aren't going to keep any dupes awake that decide to go up and down this column here. So we'll have 3 cots, 1 for each of the dupes. So at the end of this first cycle, I would very much like to see that created, and I don't see any reason why that won't be the case. And I'm also saving a spot here for the nature reserve to go down, so the dupes will be able to go through a nature reserve every time they use any of these rooms. So if we want a latrine, we're going to need a place to at least one of these, and 1 or more outhouses. Definitely want more than 1. Now the dupes are taking breaks in pairs, so technically I only need 2 of these guys. But if one becomes clogged, that's going to be a big problem. So I'm going to put a 3rd one in, just to be safe. If that all gets created, I think that's going to be a successful cycle 1. And they can start to work on the next project, which is to make a laboratory. So we'll need to do a little bit of research in order for that to happen. We also need to generate power if we're going to do some research. So we're going to have a power plant, or eventually it's going to be a power plant, anyways, over here. We'll start off with a really simple system. So it's just going to be basically this battery and a manual generator. I'm going to make this a higher priority than the manual generator. Let's see, someone's cot here needs to be built. We've got a latrine. Let's actually make that the highest priority. We've got a latrine and we got a barracks. Just need 1 more cot. Done. Come on, miner, you can do it. Awesome, there it is. Okay, so we're off to a good start, but just getting started, really. So we want to be able to generate power. So this area over here, this is where the laboratory is going to be. So we'll dig out that spot. But let's make this construction zone the priority. So in the next cycle, I'm hoping to have this machine in operation. And then we can begin putting the laboratory together. So Rancher is on a different schedule than the other dupes. So while these 2 sleep, Rancher is, I guess they're just woken up. So they're just getting started for the day. I don't see a lot of metal in the very close area, so we may need to get, maybe I'll get up here, get access to some copper tiles. Alright, so all 3 dupes are now on the case. I would like to see this is connected so I can get scientists to research some lights so that we can create a laboratory. You can't have a laboratory without lights. You don't have lights by default, so let's get that research started. And the goal here is to try to make this the only time that I research something outside a laboratory. See if that holds true or not. Yeah, we are short metal, I can see. And the dupes can't get down here. It's a little bit of fallen sand. I would very much like to get an electrolyzer too. But I need metal for that, dupes. Okay, so the door has been created. This door doesn't have to be closed, nor does this one. So I've trapped this guy over in here. So I don't want to connect this here until that's been sorted. Maybe what I'll do, I'll open this door in hopes that he's going to fly out at some point. Alright, we've got this bin. I plan to store dirt here. That's the input to this thing, the research station. And I'm going to put 2 research stations side by side. Oh, well, I guess we need to wait for more metal. That should be on the way. Alright, now that this has been researched, I'm going to destruct this. Actually, that'll give me a little bit of metal back. And probably, oxygen situation is fine, but that's not going to last forever. So let's make sure we get electrolyzer in here. We need to find metal dupes. Don't need to build a lot right now. Maybe I shouldn't have done those doors just yet, but I think we'll be okay. Alright, so in order to be a laboratory, you need a light source, that's a lamp, and you need to have 2 research stations. So that's why I'm building a second one of these. Even though I don't necessarily intend to see a dupe use this. I just want to make sure I get the laboratory effect before I do the next research, which should be coming up shortly here. Let's dig up, let's dig down. Okay, let's just wait a little bit more until this is created, and then I will sign the next research. It's probably going to be ability to make a mess hall. There we go, that's close enough. Let's go up here and get a mess table together. So scientists should be on that. I'm just going to mark this as a low priority. Though the rest of the dupes know that the scientist is generally the only one that should be using that machine anyway. Thanks to the priorities they set earlier on. Lots of sand is falling down. We've just covered our calories. There we are. Back to 17,000. Rancher is on break. How long to the next dupe actually? 0.8 cycles. Let's get them a cot ready just to have before they get here. So nice to offer them a place to sleep right away for their first break in our base. Okay, so this is going to be my future nature reserve. Make sure not to dig these guys up. Scientist is on break. So no more research is happening for the time being. I'll speed things up while everyone is out. Oh, Rancher is back on the case. I kind of really like the fact that not all the dupes are sleeping at the same time. Just makes it so there isn't this period of nothing happening. But things are going slow just because we have 3 dupes, but eventually we'll have another on the way. So my plan for these dupes, scientists, essentially, is going to be in the laboratory whenever research is happening. Speaking of which, there we go, scientist is on it. Miners doing what they're always going to be, well, not always going to be doing, but doing a lot of the time, digging. And rancher, well, you're not going to do any ranching at the moment, but you're going to be tending to hatches at some point here. Let's dig out a path to this water in case we need it. Miners celebrating some scientific achievements by scientists. So right now the dupes are having to eat on the floor. But once mess tables are created, I'll have a mess hall available for them to eat at during the break. That's going to up their morale. Have to make sure our calories stay high. Dig out some of this berry muck root. Alright, so no one's using this machine. That is what I want to see. We've got 2 of you guys. I was thinking one of you was going to leave, but I guess you're gathering. These typically gather together because they're attracted to light sources. That's fine. I'm going to actually dig into here because this is another oxygen source. Or short term anyway. 0.3 cycles until the next dupe arrives. So the next dupe I would like to have is someone that has an interest in ranching, ideally. Because they're going to be helping rancher. Let's dig this out like this. So over here, this is going to be the industrial area. We don't need to dig that out just yet, dupes, though. So research was complete. Before we move on, I'm going to tell them that this area is more the priority for the moment. But I would like to create a mess table for all 4 dupes soon. I say 4 dupes. The 4th dupe will be on the way shortly. In less than 30 seconds, we'll have another dupe to help do all this construction. Okay, let's see if we can get to the bottom here. I'll need to dig out that plant. Here we are. Time to choose a new dupe. Let's see. I don't like any of these dupes, so what I'm going to do is save. Call this new dupe. And we'll load and see if we can get any other options. Now, if you're not watching this live, I guess this is where you can fast forward a little bit. Unless you want to see a loading screen for a period of time. So looking for a dupe that ideally will have an interest in ranching, but I would like building, digging, and supplying. Either a combination of some of those things would be really good for early on base, because we've got a lot of construction ahead of ourselves. Setting up this whole base. Now, what do we have? Doctoring, not so much interest in that. Rocketry, suit wearing, building. This is a potential here. Suit wearing, primary. Okay, let's make this one. Now I'm going to get them to do the, I'll call them hugger for now. They're not interested in either farming or ranching, but that's okay. Rocketry is not really that useful just yet, but suit wearing, building, and early bird, I really like that trait. Let's bring them on. Let's pause things. Let's look at the schedule. I think it makes sense to put them down here. This means that they're going to go on break really soon. That's fine, but they're going to get 5 periods of using their early bird status. I'll have to remember Hugger. Well, I've named them Hugger, so that should help me remember the fact that they're the ones that are going to be working on critter ranching, along with Rancher. So what can we research next now that we've got this? Let's do a jumbo battery. It's going to be installed back here in the future power station. Now I want to get this spot here together. This is where the hatches are going to be. I want to make sure that's ready soon as possible. So that's going to be our food source. Now I want to deal with this water. I don't necessarily care about these statues, but I want to get rid of this. Or not rid of it, but I want to move it. It's definitely very valuable stuff. Let's not remove the water completely. Actually, the water that's here is sitting on this hot rock. That's not ideal either. So I think in my mind it would make a lot of sense if we go down here, explore just a little bit, and see if there's a spot we can dump this water that might be more well suited than having it right next to my base. Don't have to necessarily drop it too far either. So someone doesn't have a mess table together. Should be ready soon. It is a high priority task, so dupes should be on it. Okay, someone's got to take this plant out so I can create a ladder right here. Okay, now that I have my 4th dupe here, it's going to be 2.5 cycles almost until the next dupe arrives. Let's make sure they're caught and table is already constructed. Now, oxygen diffuser is going as we start to run out of oxylite. We're going to build this wire back because eventually I'm going to want to put a jumbo battery back there. Clear out a little bit more metal. So food source currently is buried muckroot. Let's go after that. Alright, another achievement has been made. So that's going to give me the ability to make a jumbo battery. So I'm going to have the power control station right here. Hydrogen generator, a smart battery there. So let's put that right here. And look at what else scientists can do for us next. Let's make a rock crusher so we can make some metal to do some automation. One thing that might be nice is to be able to turn this light off when scientist is not in the laboratory. It'll save a little bit of power for us. So my plan is to get up here, and the teleportation is really handy. It's not too far away, but I do have to get through abyssalite. Actually, no, I have to get through granite though. Actually, that's nice, so I don't have to wait too long till I get up there. But what I want to do is get over to this world and activate the dupe that has the ancient knowledge. Because they're going to have 3 skills right away. And they're going to be my engineers. So they're going to work towards the Minitronics engineering, but they'll also have the electrical engineering. And they can use the power control station once I put it there. I guess priority-wise, did I forget? No, that is, I guess we're just out of tasks. Dupes aren't getting, oh, yeah, okay. This ladder needs to be put down like that. Hugger, thank you for chipping in there, but let's get you out of there. And I'll only allow scientists to do this just because they're the best suited for doing research within this team anyway. Rancher is generating some power that's keeping this machine going. Nice thing about scientists being a little bit faster than the other ones, we're using less power to complete research just because of their speed. So we've got 3 rooms. We've got a mess hall over here. We should be able to upgrade this to a great hall pretty soon. Actually, speaking of which, we could even start on that now. We will need for that some sort of decoration item. I'll put that right here. I've saved a spot here for the cooler. Okay, so the dupes are getting up here. They're not going to be able to get through the granite, but I'm going to mark it anyway, just that when I give Miner the proper skills, they can just get to it. Okay, more research has been done. Let's put the water cooler right here. And what's the size that we'll need for a great hall? 32. So if I dig this out, that is 30. If I go one more, 32. There we go. So still a mess hall, but that'll be a great hall soon enough. I'm not going to bother harvesting any meal wood, but these guys here I might harvest if they happen to catch enough light to finish growing. Okay, so the dupes have got, look at this. I've got an oxygen area. It's difficult to do work down here just because of the carbon dioxide, but I think it's going to be very helpful if I can tap into that. Nice. See more water down here. Okay, ouch. Unfortunately, this bit of igneous rock is on this side, and that is 38 degrees. Not terrible, but not super ideal either. So maybe, even though we've got this oxylite here, I might create this little path and just try to avoid getting the water right there. It is slowly going to leak. You can kind of see it already has. Maybe there's really nothing we can kind of do about it, but no additional heat's going to be going in this way. Anyway, let's not get me distracted there. What else do we have to do here, dupes? So a rock crusher, we can build that. That's going to allow us to do automation, so we can put in automated lights. That wouldn't be a bad thing to have. Okay, so there is a rock crusher. That's going to need some power. Now, because this thing consumes power and so does this, we may not want to run research and the rock crusher at the same time. We should be alright, especially with the battery. We'll see how that goes. So once we get down here, I want to dig out a spot just for water to fall. Also want to make sure I get access to all these buried objects. It would also be good to build a water pump and have that in existence, so that when all this water floods this area, I don't have to send the dupes through an ocean to be able to actually build a pump. But this is making it much easier with this oxylite. That is really a nice benefit to have. Scientist is just about to finish more research. Awesome, so that's automation. Can't actually do that unless we run the rock crusher. The pump, let's do water pump. So we can build that pump before we drown that spot at the bottom. Rancher is putting the finishing touches here on rock crusher. We'll get that going shortly. rare seed. If I can get someone to put a plant in here, we're going to have a great haul. Didn't have to go very far for the seed. Let's verify that actually is a great haul. Boom. It's going to be a +6 to morale when the dupes use this. Alright, so just have to decide exactly where I want this pump to be. Thinking right about here. Be nice to be at the very bottom. I'm not going to be that picky. The dupes can just clear that out. Oh, and there is research. Let's put the pump right here. Not only do we want to build the pump, but it would also be good to build the pipe that goes up towards the base. Just like this. Once I'm at the ladder, we'll bring it up. Won't connect to anything just now, but we'll deal with that. Let's see, do we create... So let's create some metal. Because I see that this light is on and doesn't need to be on. So some automation would be quite nice to have. So this is going to need some power. Let's connect power up. We'll just follow the pipeline. So the dupes are going to have to find some copper ore around to complete that. Allow that to connect to the system. Skill is ready to be given out. Scientist, advanced research. That's going to allow them to use a supercomputer, which we haven't built yet. And Hugger will give you farming and eventually critter ranching. So the dupes are going to be working on that for a bit. But I should see someone up here punching the red button. It's going to make some refined metal. Miners decided they're going to do that. Relieving a little bit of stress. Their big eyebrows. And they all go on break. Hold on. Oh no, it just looked like they all sort of went on break. I was like, do I have 3 dupes on the same schedule? Not so. Might as well put in the next schedule while dupes are taking it easy. So we'll have the next 2 dupes go in this schedule. Oops. That's supposed to be bath time. And they got some downtime. Might up this to 5 tons actually. Alright, I'm going to let the rock crusher run when I've got enough metal. We'll get back to some research. Rancher's waking up early. So now we've got 2 dupes working while the other 2 are sleeping. So that's nice. Hugger is able to generate power and Rancher is able to generate metal. The first piece of automation, what I'm going to do is put it right here because I'd like to turn that off. If I can get this whole thing in, that's awesome actually. Let's look down here. So not only do I want to build the pump, but I also want to have the area to store excessive water. So when this drains down, and I might as well drain this too, it won't flood all the way up here. So if I dig this out, and actually I want to get access to some of these buried objects anyways, so that's just going to work out really well. So I need to figure out what size I need. If I have this space, would roughly take care of that, plus a little bit more. So maybe I'll dig an extra 2 on top of that. If I had insulation, I would love to cover this up. But there's just too many other things to research, especially since I want to get hatches going. Okay, I could either make a supercomputer now, or that's just about it in terms of what's useful for me, so I guess that's what I'm doing. Scientist to the laboratory. Now the lights only turn on when scientist is here, so that's saving a small amount of power, but still useful. We're going to dig into this at some point. Not yet. Definitely want to have the dupes finish this first. We're going to dig into that and let this drain out, because this is where I want to put my stables. Eventually, Miner's going to have the skill to be able to get through this. So it makes sense that Scientist was the first one to get the skills, because that gives... the Science skill gives them the ability to level up quicker. And there is the other dupes catching up. So there's Miner getting hard digging. And Rancher, you're going to work towards critter ranching. So I'll give you that to work towards that. So now we can get through here. Maybe what I'll do is the next dupe's going to be here in 0.2 cycles, not too long. I'm going to send them up here so that they can get the dupe that has that's been defrosted. It'll be our engineer. So the quicker we get up here, the quicker we'll have another dupe. So I want to dig here, here, here. I'm going to try to avoid digging that, just that all this crude oil doesn't fall down. Just heard research was complete. So that's a supercomputer. Let's put a supercomputer right here. We're going to want to have a storage area for water nearby. So we'll do that right here. And this is where we're going to put in a pitcher pump. So it's nice that we've got this pump ready, actually. Okay, so ready to choose yet another dupe. Well, let's see if this one is any good, first of all. This one is actually decent if I want a cook. A plant murderer, so I'll keep them out of the garden. Cannot do digging. Or I have someone that really likes to do digging. No. Okay, yeah, if I'm going to send them over here to be alone until they release that dupe, there's a lot of digging. There's a lot of digging here. That's tempting. I wouldn't mind a dupe that specializes in cooking. But unfortunately, we have to go get another one. So again, if you're watching this at a different time, you may want to skip ahead just a little bit until we find a dupe that I'm going to have join the team. So I have a couple different options for dupes that I would like to have. One would be building supply. Let's see what we end up getting. Suit wearing could be okay. Cooking is alright. Requires light to sleep. Falls asleep. No, these are automatic no's for me. I don't want anyone that's going to fall asleep or requires light. So we will get a new dupe. And hopefully it will be someone that is going to be useful. Try not to be too picky with what I'm going to choose. But I don't want skills that are not going to be useful for the initial setup of the base. Haven't quite decided if what I'm going to do with this base overall. Again, this is the first time I've done streaming, so we'll see how it goes. But it could be another carnivore achievement. Rocketing. We don't need any more ranching. Decorating and rocketry, these are two things that are not useful to me in the short term. And ranching, doctoring, no. Let's find something better, game. So one of the viewers, Charlie, was telling me about a mod where you can actually have the option to change those characters instead of actually having to do a reload. So I may look into that at some point. That would be quite handy. I haven't put any mods in my game at this point yet, but that may be something I experiment with, especially given that there's one that would have a very convenient feature. associated with it. Building suit wearing plant murder. Or tidying cooking operator. This one here is pretty decent. I'll call this one builder. Their negative trade to agriculture, that's fine. We'll keep you out of any places that involves plants. And you probably can't get up there right now, but when you can, I'm going to send you over here. Let's look at their schedule quickly. So technically, I could put them in here, but let's just wait a little longer. Actually, hold on, what? They're heading towards break. I just don't want them to get here and start sleeping. It kind of seems wasteful. But I don't want to forget about that. I have done that in the past. So I know what to look for. This hasn't been destroyed. I guess that's because it's low priority. Going back to schedule so I do not forget this dupe. So I don't want to have 3 on the same time. You're either going to go break here or I'll put you over now. Builder. You've got your own schedule, but the next dupe that arrives will be on the same schedule as you. So I don't want to do any more science research until this laboratory is put together again. Otherwise, this building's not going to have the science benefit, or efficiency benefit, I should say. Might even add a fourth outhouse. Because if these all are clogged at the same time, that would be very unfortunate. Getting ready for an additional dupe. My plan's going to be going for 8 dupes. I'll have to remember that one's going to come from this world over here, so I'm going to have to stop when I get to 7. Alright, this pitcher pump is going to be very convenient right here because this building requires water. Probably shouldn't have built, made sure that that was closed before I asked the dupes to build this. Because that pump, I think, is ready to go. No, it's not quite. Can dig down here. I may want to get access to some of these buried objects in the future, so I'm going to save a little bit of room for the dupes to be able to get down. Maybe I'll just go like this. Just getting a little bit of spot. Let's find out what is in that buried object. So any hatches I would like to bring up in this room. Well, this future room. Unclogging the outhouse, a very time-consuming job, but it's essential. So we don't have any running plumbing at the moment. So the dupes cannot get here. Okay, let's just put a ladder right here then. The quicker I can get another dupe, I'm thinking the quicker things will get done. I have a feeling I am going to go for the carnivore achievement. So I want to press on very quickly. So let's have a look here. Laboratory status is back thanks to the supercomputer. Let's research the next thing. Well, if we are going, in fact, after the carnivore achievement, I very much may want to research this. But we're going to have electrical engineer soon, because I'm going to get to engineer. That ancient dupe's going to have 3 skills already, so I may want to research this too. Just trying to decide which one is going to go first. Let's look at the skills for the 2 dupes here. We've got Hugger, you're not any close to upgrading. Rancher, neither are you. So I suspect we'll have the electrical engineer first. So let's research that actually. Change a plan, scientist. Research a power control station for me. I should see they can't use a supercomputer until water arrives. And water is not pumping. Oh, I guess because we just have 2 pieces of wire to be constructed. So I'm wondering if this is big enough to contain all this water. I guess worst case, let's just Let's just dig out a little bit more. Would it hurt to go in here? Wouldn't be super ideal. Let's avoid that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just make this wider. Make it easier for water to fall down, but also if things does accumulate, it won't flood up in this area. Pretty sure this is going to be fine. We don't need to do any more digging than that, I think. How are we doing up here? Oh, we are at the top. Okay, let's check the schedule for Builder. We're going to send them over. They're about to go on break. So you know what? Let Builder take a break, and we'll send them over in their morning. More accomplishments have been done in the laboratory. That's good to see. Miners on the case down here. How are we doing with oxygen? Probably slowly losing that. Wouldn't mind to see if we have anything in this buried object. Nope, nothing of interest. It wouldn't be a bad idea to build some muckroot. So maybe I'll put a storage here, because I don't want the dupes to have to get that when it's all flooded. So I'm going to select this muckroot, hit sweep. Maybe I'll just hit sweep everywhere. I see some here because, I mean, the dupes can get it if it's underwater. It's just they're going to have to get wet to do it. Okay, so edible muckroot. Sweep only, high priority. And then, as long as the pump is running, and it's not, okay, what's missing? What could it be? We have the pipe. Oh, that's not connected. Okay, that would make sense then. But other than that, we've got the pipe and we've got the wire. Then we should be able to let this place flood so that we can build over here. Let's actually dig now into this. Dupes are picking up muckroot. Oh. Did I... Okay, whew. Alright, Builder, I almost forgot about you. You're going here, you're going to get yeah, sea and destination. Actually, that's a good distance that we get to go to another asteroid. With a teleportation, but you're going to get your feet wet, but not much we can do about that right now. Because I have more important things to do than mop up this room. Awesome. So you're going to teleport over. The first thing you're going to do is unlock this dupe that is over here, been frozen away for I don't know how long. But before you do that, let's do a save. New dupe, just in case. So this one I specifically want to be an engineer. Defrost a friend. Let's see what kind of skills they have. Rancher is the odd. Probably don't want them called Rancher, but we can change that. What is their interest? Digging and ranching. I guess it's appropriate their name Rancher. Flatulence. No, let's not do that. So I hopefully will not have to do this too many more times. What are we at? 6 dupes. So I'll have to do this twice more over the short term. Loading to get different dupes. So in this little section, I think we'll get up to 7 dupes. I'll probably wrap this up for today. Or before we get to the 8th dupe anyway. So the next section I do, I'll only have to do this one more time to get up to my 8th dupe. Oh no, what am I talking about? I was looking at the cycle. I'm at 5 dupes. Anyway. Getting ahead of myself. Let's find out. Scientist. Now, if they have an interest in science, I'm going to think that the game has some sort of AI Oh, a mouth breather. Yuck. Absolutely no. And they're interested in operating. Actually, oh. The fact that they're interested in operating is not bad, but they're a mouth breather. That's an instant no for me. That means they consume more oxygen than the rest of the dupes. It just makes it that much more difficult to supply the base with oxygen. And if I'm just get a little bit more patient, then I won't have to deal with that extra oxygen consumption just by loading a new dupe. Though I did like the fact that they liked operating. So anyway, for those viewers that are watching, if you do notice that the audio or visuals or anything is not up to standard, because this is the first time I've done an actual live play, let me know, so if I can see if I can fix anything, or hopefully maybe that's not the case, but we'll see. Researching and ranching, and a binge eater. Oh, no, it's not in the, oh, and they fall asleep. Nope. Oh, I see. So this is my 6th dupe, so it's going to be 2 more times after this. So maybe in the next section that I do tomorrow, I'll just have to do this twice more. Actually, maybe not. Maybe on my 8th and final dupe, I'll just take the dupes, and if I don't like them, I'll just reject them so I don't have to do reloading so much. Very much going to look for the mod that makes it so that you don't have to do this. Kind of feel that should just be baked into the game anyways. Maybe they'll change it at some point. Alright, what are you throwing? Another scientist. I like to catch them when they're midway in the air. Supplying, suit wearing, building. What's the negative trait? Shabby dresser. Yeah, I can live with that. And supplying works with the engineering. They don't have operating, but I'm fine with it. Thank you. Engineer. Alright, so one of the okay, I guess engineer is not going back to now we've got more water situation on this asteroid. Alright, fine enough. Yeah, let's see, let's dig this rock out. A little bit of dirt because we need to make an outhouse for you guys. Now we have to start engineer has fallen asleep. Probably because they're on well, it is nighttime. Default schedule would have them sleep. I guess that does make sense. I don't know if it's too late to wake them up. They're going to get a hurt back, I suspect. Yeah, or sore back. Doesn't really matter. They'll be okay. But we're going to get a cot available for them so that doesn't happen again. I'm not going to give them their skills. Just want to make sure these dupes have enough to do while I spend some attention with those 2 dupes. I only planned on having 1 dupe over there. This is a great haul. I'm not doing ready for nature reserve. What can I get you guys to do that isn't going to get you guys into trouble? Kind of, let's just leave you with the pipes. Okay, I'm going to want an outhouse. Let's put that right here. That's a priority task. Let's up that to 1. And I want to get a cot. It doesn't fit in here. So I could make a barracks. Put that there and dig in. No, not dig into. Oh, let's dig into there. Hopefully that's going to be big enough for barracks. So this will give the dupes at least a place to sleep. And my goal is just to dig down, get rid of this water, and allow engineer to go into there. Because otherwise they're going to be living in a very wet environment, and I don't think that's good. So let's dig down. Not a lot of material, so we'll have to dig for additional resources. Let's see if this is an actual barracks. It is. Awesome. The more material we get for building, the better. How far down? Oh, let's dig into this anyways. So we've got that little pocket for water to get into. Then we'll dig across like this. And if I'm smart, maybe we'll even put Okay, let's check on the other dupes. I feel like I've been with them too long. This pipe exists, so I'm thinking water should be on the way up. Okay, let me think. Are we ready to send water down here? I think so. How do I best do this? Let's clear that. We need to make this level so water can flow out. Where are you going? Just curious. Picking up dirt. Let's just cancel all that. Okay. And oh yeah, back over here. This is definitely a game that tests your multitasking skills. Just build a ladder there. So once these dupes have this, ideally, I would like to put, for the same reason, apparently not, but well, if we get out some more metal, put a pump down here before it's fully flooded. Though I don't really care about this space. Well, I mean, over the short term, I do. Long term, because this is where oil's going to be. I'm certain. Actually, I haven't looked. Just curious. What do we have for geysers over here? Natural gas, carbon dioxide, sulfur. Always going to have that cold carbon. No, not cold carbon, just carbon. Or an oil. I mean, I guess it's kind of nice to have another natural gas, but not the best. But that's alright. We'll be fine. Okay, so these dupes, if you guys clear that, and actually what I'll get you to do, or no, maybe hold off, we'll do that later. Then back over here. Let's see if there's a skill to give out other than these two. No, I don't want to give you guys skills, because you guys could freak out. Because you're living in a terrible place. But I very much want to dig through this to get rid of that out of the way. Oh my goodness. Okay, who's idle? You guys. It's probably because only one person can dig at a time. Let's do this. Someone could go up while the other goes down, but I'm going to indicate that this is the lower priority. Just don't want to have anyone idle. And why not dig out over there again? That's lower priority. Alright, that'll keep them busy for a little bit anyway. Okay, so someone's going to get down here and dig through this. Miner is on the case. They're getting fully submerged. They're finding it a little bit chilly, but they're a fast digger. Going through sand is going to take too long. Hoping they can do the other two tiles before they have to get back. We should see some water, or let's speed things up. Water's flowing out. Let's now dig into this. And that's going to allow me to make my first stable. So, scientist is research. I think we were researching a power control station. I had expected engineer to get back already. That has not happened, obviously, because of this situation. But we're dealing with it. Don't worry. Gonna get down here. Hopefully this little bit of water. I'm gonna tell you guys, if you were smart, you would dig this out so you didn't have to dig. Stop it. Dig out here, or you know what? Just dig here then. You really wanted. Or is that gonna trap you? Maybe you're on break. All right, enjoy your break. Back to idle over here. Let's not have any idle dupes. Yeah, let's clear this out and make the room for our stable. So I'm going to put a door right here and a door over here. So this is going to be 5 tiles wide. I don't have the buildings for it. Research, okay. But we can start the research for that. So that is a grooming station. Boom, let's click on that. And these guys should be in their cots. They are excellent. And over here, we're making progress on a stable. So I should be able to, let's take this out, because this is going to be where I want a power control station. This engineer is going to be here soon, and I'll get a fine tune up on this. So right now, this is producing 400 watts. I can make that produce 600. That's far more efficient. Oh, and these guys are out here. So what I might do is close this. And actually, I guess that's not super helpful unless I get the light bugs out of this room. Anyway, that's for the future. Okay, so I'm not going to mop this up until this drains out, otherwise I'm creating work. How did we do down here? Okay, we're looking fine. I'm going to put tiles here, but might as well wait on that. These dupes are up. Okay, now you can dig down here, dupes. You can mop up here if you would like. I'm preferring to dig. Once they get down as far as here, and can we build a pump? We might as well do this now while it's not as wet in this zone. So I'm probably going to want to have access to all this polluted water. Possibly growing food. Maybe an oxygen source, or polluted oxygen source. Probably only really need this little section, to be honest. So let's focus on that, because the sooner you do this, I can send engineer back. Okay, shouldn't take too long before we get engineer back. And how are we doing here? We can do a mop up of this. And we'll clear off this zone. Scientist is completing the work on a stable. Can make our power controls. Well, no, we can't. How much metal do we need? 200. So that means we'll need 4, because every time you convert this, you actually lose half the copper ore. But that's going to be very much worth it, because increasing the power here will be very nice. And then we also need to switch this out for an electrolyzer, so we start producing some hydrogen, which I guess is going to accumulate here. So we'll need to build a pump up in this zone, but we'll do that later on. I'd like to focus a little bit more on this room. Okay, can we send engineer back? Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's dig into this area finally. Drain this out. You can do it. This is the focus here, dupes. So we want to send engineer back. Actually, I'll probably want to send both of them back. It's just that we'll only be able to send one of them. See, destination. Oh, where could it be? It is the homeworld. Surprise, surprise, where we started. Engineer, just go in. I know it's wet, but I'm not going to forget you, I promise. Teleport. Let's get you out of here. It's terrible, but there's a much better world over here, which you haven't seen yet. So enjoy. Find a place to sleep. A new table. So I've got a spot here for 6. And there's only actually 5 here right now. But builder, sadly, we have to wait for this to charge for you to go back. Get out of that zone. Okay, what to do with you? I'll just get you to start. Oh my goodness, there's so much more liquid though. Let's not drain that. Let's not worry about that. Just keep busy until that teleportation system is ready to send you back. So someone could build or work on this machine. That would be awesome. Supercomputers consuming water. But having this right here is actually just preventing the dupes from having to run back and forth so much. So this is going to be a very tall room. Let's see, more mopping is ready here. Might as well do that. And we're ready to install the tiles down here. Boom, 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 and boom. We'll put a wall right here. Not quite what I wanted. Okay, so that is going to be the start on that. Oh, so I should now have A grooming station, amazing. Let's put that right here. We can drop off critters. We'll do that right here, and a place for them to eat right here. Okay, so now we're at 6 dupes overall. I guess we're about to go on the 7th dupe. They actually have a spot here when they arrive. But just before I forget, I might as well create another one. Because the other dupe is going to be coming back here soon. Hopefully. What am I looking for? Oh, a chef. We don't have a chef yet. Okay. I think I'll end on this new dupe. So while I'm doing this is probably the point where I find either the audio or video or something like that wasn't quite right, and I may have to do this again. Hopefully that's not the case, but anyways, thank you everyone for watching. And yeah, again, this is my first time doing streaming, so if there are any bumps or hiccups, I'll fix those issues as we go. And instead of watching the loading screen, I'll figure out what this is, and at the beginning of the next section, we'll find out the next dupe that's going to be joining the team. Alright, well, I'm signing off, and until tomorrow, where I continue on, and hopefully I'll see some of you then.